to apply what we've learned in Toastmasters. And the one thing we know is that we're always ready, so we shouldn't be at the back. So I'm waiting. I'm encouraging. I have sweets to give away. Yes. Thank you, Toastmasters, those of us who are moving. Passing the baton, serving beyond the club. At this time, we're going to learn from those who have exemplified service beyond the club. And to lead this section is Robert Scott, distinguished Toastmaster, and who has been the first council governor for District 81. He has taken the lessons and principles he has learned in Toastmasters and has applied them to other areas of life. And this is a segment that he will lead. He's a certified international trade professional. He is married and has 3 children, and these are things he boasts about. He will share with you about the members of his team. Ladies and gentlemen, passing the baton, service beyond the club, our moderator, distinguished Toastmaster, Robert Scott.
Toastmasters, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Jamaica. A wonderful conference. So we're talking about passing the baton on this wonderful theme. And I'd like to share with you that as a rower, I'm involved in rowing. And I recently took the Jamaica team to a Pure Woman, Chile for the Olympic qualifying event. We didn't qualify, but there was some fantastic learning from that. And one of the workshops was led by the International Olympic Committee. And this is part of their outreach. And as part of that outreach, they started with a cartoon. And this cartoon was, believe it or not, about Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. And in this cartoon, inadvertently, Wile E. Coyote had killed the Roadrunner. You can Google it. Now, interestingly enough, the Roadrunner, as you know, would not likely have been caught in any time, and that was the sustenance of the series by Wile E. Coyote. But inadvertently killing Wile E. the Roadrunner, the reason for Wile E. Coyote's existence now became questioned. He had no other goals. So he started to watch TV, hours and hours of TV. He got fat, he got worthless, and he went to the point of suicide. And ladies and gentlemen, why the International Olympic Committee showed this video and had this oral workshop was simply to prepare athletes for what they would be doing after the Olympics. Because at that level, that was the highest stage. After the Olympics, what do you do? Do you go for a manager's job at Walmart? Or do you set a goal for yourself? And certainly for Jamaica, it was very, very fitting because we know this will be Usain Bolt's last Olympics. And as I reflected on that workshop, I realized the parallel here in Toastmasters. Some of us have plateaued. We have perhaps reached to being a club president or area governor. Many of us may have been stuck at the competent communicator level. And we have perhaps not set strong goals for us moving forward. So the relevance, therefore, of this workshop and this discussion this morning is, how do I prepare myself for the next level? The intention, therefore, is to inspire you, give you information, and also to empower you to take on that next level within the Toastmasters experience. And to help us do this, we have our own Toastmaster Olympians here to speak to this. So we have a brief sprint of 7 minutes each to speak on the topics, and I'll quickly introduce the members of my panel. So we have, who will be the first speaker, is Toastmaster Stuart Adams, who has served and served well and served beyond the club. He has served in all areas at the club level, and then went on to be district governor in 2013 and 2014, and he led the district to President's Distinguished Status. This, in fact, deserves an applause. And but as much as he knows and he loves us, he will destroy us at Scrabble. So please don't spend too much time challenging there. But if you are destroyed, he knows how to help. And after all, he is the part owner of one of the leading insurance broking companies in Guyana. And with all this, he manages to offer great support to Toastmasters in the region and certainly even beyond. Also, our next presenter will be DTM Eileen Wolf. Now, Eileen Wolf is our past international director, and her stint in Toastmasters could best be described as a marathon. She has been the most accomplished in the leadership track, the most accomplished Jamaican Toastmaster in the world. She has served from Canada to Jamaica to the Caribbean. She has assisted in the United Arab Emirates and many other places throughout the world. She was also recognized for forming the Caribbean Toastmasters District, where she received the Presidential Citation in 2003, and she continues to serve, even now as Regional 8 Region Advisor. Thank you so much, Eileen. Fantastic. She's shaking her head. A very humble person, of course. And then our third presenter is, of course, Toastmaster Bridget Levy, who originally hailed from the Toastmasters Club and went on to form SIPS. As you notice, I'm obviously carrying the baggage there, but she has taken the Toastmasters training within Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters. She has done work on the National Youth Policy, Parenting Policy, HIV policy, and strategic planning, among others. She knows how well to plan, she knows how to lead, and many Toastmasters have spent countless evenings on her veranda honing and developing her craft. She is certainly one of our most loved persons. And she will tell us how she has taken that Toastmasters experience and gone beyond the club. Now, as I mentioned, each will have a brief stint of 7 minutes to share their particular experiences, and then afterwards we will have a little time for question and answer. And my objective, my goal is to inspire you and project you so that if you're in a slump, you will move forward. And if you're even at a very high level, you will take this Toastmasters training, take this opportunity, and one day, perhaps very soon, an international president will come from the Caribbean. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Toastmaster Stuart Adams.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to be touching on the leadership aspect of the club. And I'm sure persons in the audience are going to be very much interested in learning as much as they could. Because after club, that is when the excitement really begins as an officer. That is when your mettle is truly tested as a leader. I always say that if you aspire to be a leader, then you should be a reader. How can you lead others when persons are going to ask you for information and you cannot give them accurate information? What do you do when someone asks you something about Toastmaster? If you don't know, you say you don't know. But to give an incorrect answer is like leading the sheep to the slaughterhouse. And I don't know that you are working at the abattoir. You are in Toastmasters, and Toastmasters are where leaders are made. So the first role after club president and the club officers in the district would be area director. How many persons right now are incoming area directors? Just to show by a show of hands. Okay. I take it that you have a pretty good understanding of your area, because you need to know, if you're going to be a leader of a particular area, what goes on in the area. I can tell you what best worked for me. I never wanted to know what is working good. Tell me what is going wrong, and I'm going to try and fix it. If it is working well, don't try to tamper with it. Just try to hone it and make it run better. But those that are not working, or the areas that are not working well, is the areas that you really need to zero in from the inception. Because before you know it, 10 seconds can be like, for Usain Bolt, a very fast time. A year in Toastmasters, it's like, it's finished very quickly. When the first 6 months, and then the second 6 months start, you wonder where did the time go. And when you now try to really fix anything, it is gone with the wind, time up. No wonder we are sprinting to success, because where we are right now as a district, we got to be playing catch up over the next 6 weeks. So as an area director, you need to know what goes on in your area. And at this point in time, I will ask that and if we can just have it, the area part shown, so that it can be seen by persons. So you see District 801 comprised of 39 areas. Whichever area that you are area governor for, you must know the clubs that are in your area. Usually the alignment is done in such a way that you have weak clubs and strong clubs. Your focus is to strengthen the weak clubs, so that at the end of the year, when you look back, your area will also be distinguished, or better yet, president's distinguished. Every alignment is done with the option of giving area governors equal opportunity of having a president distinguished area. After area, you now move to division. Now, in my time when I was division governor C, I had a host of territories to overlook. That year, my good friend Thelma Cook Wallace from Jamaica was area director, or division governor, and she was my mentor. You see, when I became division director, back then division governor, I was asked to serve the district. I got a call in Guyana from from Barbados, asking me to run for division governor. I said to the individual, Marlene, I really do not know what the job is, but if you have the confidence in me to do it, I will certainly allow my name to go forward. And that is where my role started as division director, division governor. I was nominated by Marlene Hall from Barbados, and I was elected in Jamaica for division governor. Here is where you have to know what goes on in your division, country by country by country. And you have to have a strategy for each country. I can tell you now, even though I am not on the trio, the countries that are in distress right now with regard to membership. From the division, you move on to the trio level, which is Club Board Director, Program Quality Director, and District Governor. As Club Board Director, that is the hardest task of the trio members. It is the working area and the heartbeat of the district. And you must be able to have the ability to crunch numbers if you're going to be a successful Club Board Director. You got to know where the lead's coming from, what will materialize when, where, and how, and by whom. And sometimes with the information you get from the persons on the ground may not be accurate, you have to now go to the source to get it. Now, the positive part about it is that now you have so many opportunities that you can communicate to persons free of cost using the latest intelligence, using the latest technology. And that has helped District 81 significantly. As Program Quality Director, your task is to ensure that the clubs are distinguished and better. And the more clubs that are distinguished is the higher the district place in the rankings. As district governor, you have the enviable task of leading a group, and sometimes it could be nerve-wracking, sleepless, and demanding. I can tell you, I believe the last three district governors all suffered at some point in time in their year, if not close to a nervous breakdown, at least health issues. There were times when I was still up at 3 and 4 in the morning doing the district work. And before you know it, it is day clean and I just decide to head off to work. That is the life of working beyond the club. I believe that if you're going to serve beyond the club, you must have the passion to serve. And if you have the passion to serve, well, then the people will be pleased. But if you do not come to the position with the passion, then you're just going to be lukewarm and you may not be able to inspire the entire 7,000 odd members in the district.
A Toastmaster is like a candle that consumes itself to light the way for others. And that's the premise of my presentation this afternoon. Madam Regional Advisor, District Director, District Team members, fellow Toastmasters. When I was asked to join this auspicious, illustrious panel to speak with you about Beyond the Club, Passing the Baton, I thought, wow, there's so much I could talk about. I could talk about being an international director and the policy making and the membership of the various committees that I joined as a result of that. I could also talk about being a regional advisor and to talk about the operational aspects of that role, working with the districts to achieve their goals. I also thought I could talk about the many trips I've had to the 7 Arab countries, to China, to New Zealand, to help them in the formation of their districts and to help them in discussions on leadership. I thought I could also talk about my role in the formation of District 52, and my role in the European District, District 59, and my role in the formation of District 81. And as I try to put this presentation together to talk about the aspects of all those things that take you from life beyond the club, beyond the district, I realized that I wasn't feeling that message. I just wasn't feeling it. And then I came across a quotation by past American President Woodrow Wilson. And he said, "You're not here merely to make a living. You're here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You're here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget this errand." And that's what I wanted to talk about. What does it really mean to go beyond the club, to pass that baton? What does that really mean, to pass the baton? This is the baton that must be passed, the legacy that we must leave behind. So let me share with you 2 stories that I think emphasize that. In 1989, 1991, I served as International Director for Region 1. And Region 1 encompassed British Columbia, my hometown, my home district. It also encompassed Washington, Idaho, Oregon, Northern Nevada, and Northern California. I had 9 districts in all. I was doing an official visit to Salt Lake City, Utah, District 15. I was doing a plenary session. We just finished the debt meeting, so I was racing back to my room to get my stuff to come back and do the plenary session. I went smack dab into a Toastmaster. Hit her. My things went flying. I went flying. I thought, wow, what a way to start my visit to District 15 as the international director. I was so embarrassed, I got up, and I was even more embarrassed when I realized that this Toastmaster I bumped into, she had leg irons on, had a walker. I thought, oh no, I was extremely mortified. And she was giggling hilariously. I thought, man, I probably hit her in the head and she's gone bonkers. But she said to me, Madam Director, I know you like me, but you didn't have to literally fall for me. We had a good giggle about that. And that was my first introduction to Emma Smith. I had the pleasure later that day to hear a lot more about Emma. We see when Emma was 2 years old, she was born with cerebral palsy. And when she was 2 years old, her parents were told that she would never be able to walk or talk. But nobody forgot to tell Emma. Because Emma was determined. She would follow her siblings around and her friends, and she'd try to walk, and she'd fall over and she'd get up and still try to walk. And when she was going to school, she persuaded her parents to let her do speech therapy. And then sooner or later, she said she wanted to get rid of the wheelchair. She wanted to get around like the other kids, so she wanted to wear these ugly leg irons, and she'd push her cart around. Emma was full of life. Emma did speech therapy, and that helped tremendously. And then she discovered Toastmasters, and she took that program for everything it had. She took that program for everything it had. I had the pleasure at the business meeting to present Emma with the Area Governor of the Year award. Later, I saw her be elected by a landslide as division governor. Now, I left Region 1, went to live in Region 7, so I didn't keep in contact with her as I used to before. But she sent me an email and she said, you must come to the International Convention, you must. I said, why? What's so important? I said, I'm going anyway. Well, when I got there, she said to me, I'm a President's Distinguished Governor, and I want you to be at the head table with me because you're responsible for making this happen. I said, no, Emma, no. I am not responsible for making this happen. You have been my inspiration. You have inspired me to be the best that I could be. You have shown me that even with your disability, that you could take yourself to new heights. I was so proud of Emma because Emma got it wrong. She had been my inspiration, my hope. Whenever things aren't going my way, I think about Emma. I think about her being outstanding area governor. I think about her being President's Distinguished Governor, running down the hallway as fast as her wheelchair could carry her. Emma had passed on a baton of love, passion, strength, determination, and an overwhelmingly positive spirit. She is still my inspiration and my role model. Indian philosopher Patanjali puts it best when he said, when you're inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds, your minds transcend limitations, your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new and wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. This was Emma's baton that she passed on to those who followed her. I had a similar experience about 4 years ago when I was running the campaign for Mohammed Murad. I came across a district, my old district. They were going to be the first people that we were going to meet with as he interviewed all the districts across the world. I remembered when I joined that district, when I became district governor 25 years previously, I had my theme of love, and I had on there a beautiful ribbon made up, and I would give this to districts and clubs that I went around and visited. When I was in that room, a lady came to me, she said, you know something? You probably won't remember me, but I remember you. She said, what is that? She said, you came to my club many years ago, and you inspired me. She said, when you came to my club, I was doing the grammarian rule for the first time, and you singled me out and gave me an award at the end of that day. I was so moved, I was so touched, it inspired me, it made me become bigger than I ever thought I could be. And she pulled out the ribbon, 25 years later, the ribbon that I gave her, and I was just so touched. Because I had made a pledge of my installation that I'd recognize any Toastmaster that took the step forward. She said, I've been carrying this ribbon for 25 years. This is my barometer, my guide, my inspiration. I was stunned, I was crying. In fact, Toastmaster Murad came into the room and he said, what's happened? He said, have I failed already? We haven't even had the election yet. So ladies and gentlemen, what is your legacy? What is the baton that you want to pass on beyond your club, your area, your district, your division? Is it one of hate, malice, and a mean spirit, or a laugh ego? Or is it love? Alexander Haig said, make up your life an affirmation defined by your ideals, not the negation of others. Dare to the level of your capability, then go beyond the higher level. The baton that you pass on can be summed up in the words of the one, Michael Jackson. He said, let us dream of tomorrow where we can truly love from the soul and know love as the ultimate truth at the heart of all creation. Toastmasters, if we lead with love, then we'll always be assured that we pass the right baton to those who come behind us. So pass the right baton and make sure that wherever you're coming from, whatever you're doing, that baton that you pass to others, that you help them to develop, that growth that you want them to, that inspiration that you want to give them, that is done in the spirit and atmosphere of love.
Spirit of love, Eileen, I'm going to steal that from you this morning. Standing in the spirit of love, many of us are then called to say, what do we use our skills for? We join Toastmasters in order to improve our speaking skills, and for many of us, we got the very pleasant surprise that you also get to improve your leadership skills and your listening skills while you're there. But what happens after we've done that? After we've made our first few speeches, we've gotten some level of confidence in who we are as speakers and as leaders, then there are different ways that we can use the skills in different settings, because we're not Toastmasters in the Toastmaster meeting and then we go away and we become something else, or the other thing. The mummy when we're at home and the church sister when we're at church, we're always Toastmasters. Or at least for me, I found that I'm always a Toastmaster. I'm always saying, what did I learn? Where was I not listening? How do I give effective feedback in this situation? And I think we can use the Toastmaster skills at work. That's the first place that we're going to apply. We're going to improve our listening skills, so we listen to those around us without interrupting. We listen without thinking what we're going to say, but rather listening to understand, because that's what we learned when we did the Competent Leader Manual. We learn to give feedback in ways that are better received. So instead of saying to someone, that was wrong, we use the sandwich technique. And we're going to find in our workplace that that's more received, that's better received, and people are willing to come to us to ask us for our thoughts and guidance and even to be their mentors because of the things that we've learned in Toastmasters. I certainly know that so many Toastmasters have said to me they now manage their meetings better, they're making better presentations, their bosses and company leaders are coming to them to say, will you help us fix these our skills? So passing on our skills looks like volunteering for the educational features in the clubs, but more importantly, I want to share with you the importance of passing on our skills, perhaps not in a Toastmasters club. So one of the things that we've been able to do in Jamaica under the leadership of our division director is we've organized youth leadership programs in children's homes. So it's where one person gets to coordinate mini Toastmaster meetings, maybe over 6 weeks in the children's homes. The children learn leadership skills. At the end of it, they're actually conducting the meetings themselves. And they're making speeches and presentations and getting feedback. And when I've spoken to some of the children in the children's homes who have completed the program, they did it a few years ago, they've said their grades have improved, teachers listen to them more, they feel important because we took the time to go into the club and share some of the skills that we've learned in Toastmasters, using Toastmasters materials and curricula, but using it in a setting where we're giving and actually passing on the skills in a meaningful way. Some of our Toastmasters have also been inspired to develop radio programs. Robert and Eileen Bryan developed a radio program looking at financial matters and actually sharing in our, what was the name of the radio station, Robert? Your business. He said, it's not my business.
No, the program was called Your Business. And what they did was they used their skills that they learned working the Toastmaster curriculum, especially the advanced communication manual on media, relating to the media, and ensuring that they were able to take the knowledge and skills of a number of persons in Jamaica, but have it available to a lot of young people, because I really care about young people, but really it was old people as well, older persons in St. Elizabeth, Mandeville, Trelawney, where they were able to then have this knowledge and skills base. And then Robert and Eileen also had it available that you can click on it and download. We were talking about technology. I don't know what the technology is, but I know we could have done that. So it was available to a lot. So they used the skills that they had honed to present and share information in such a way that people could understand, appreciate, but also internalize it. I had the privilege of being able to do a television program called Making a Difference, and it was aired on public broadcasting because I was fed up with always hearing bad news and just people just saying things didn't work. So my program, we highlighted the work of individuals, agencies, and organizations that were making a difference for Jamaica and all Jamaicans. That was our tagline. And it was great. It was great being able to go in and interview persons in organizations that many of us had never heard of. I worked with a set of people called the Bug Club. What do you think the Bug Club was? Looking at grasshoppers and centipedes? No, it was VW bugs. The VW bugs, remember those old-time cars? They had them painted with flowers and stuff, and then they would drive the cars to different communities, different fairs, and give kids rides in these VW bugs round and round the parking lot. Children with disabilities were there laughing and smiling because of the experience of being able to move faster than they've ever felt themselves moving before. And they call themselves the Bug Club, and they're just amazing. And they were endless. I mean, I ended up doing 3 seasons for 37 episodes, and for each episode we featured 1 or 2 people. I never knew that there was this much good going on in Jamaica. But people called PBCJ, our public broadcasting station, to ask when the next episode was coming on, could they nominate people who were making a difference. I mean, I was stunned when I realized how many people were engaged. I mean, I'm glad, don't get me wrong. But I was stunned at the number of people who called and said, we'd like to see more, because it was using the skills of my mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Robert, at every episode I was like, how do I say this? What am I going to do now? But people cared that there were these people doing these amazing things around Jamaica. And I was really pleased to be a part of that. And that was because of my Toastmastering experience and the confidence that I got there. So I say to you all, consider how you can use the skills that you've learned, use the tremendous resources that Toastmasters have given us, and how we can use it to make a difference, to show people that there's love in the world, to show people that as readers and leaders, we will make a difference and use the skills that we learn in Toastmasters to benefit not only ourselves and our careers, but our entire communities with which we interact.
Thank you, Burnett. Thank you all, our panelists. As you can see, our Olympians are really involved in many tremendous things. But before I take questions, I'd certainly like to acknowledge all our Haitian Toastmasters. Can I see their hands, please? The Haitian Toastmasters, let me see your hands. Because from very early in the day, from early in 2000, when we started working very closely with them to get them to be part of the district thrust, it was very clear that the reason Toastmasters was working so well in Haiti, it was really about national development. It wasn't just about individuals learning to speak. And for me, the Haitian clubs have a very, very special place in my heart because of that strong power. So thank you all for that. So at this point, I'm sure there may be some thoughts, some questions that you'd like to pose on my panel. So I'll take the first question. They have a microphone, so they will need to come to the lectern. And I recognize Toastmaster. Please stand.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. I had a question for Toastmaster DT and Bridget McDonald DP. I wondered if the program in the children's home where you're teaching leadership skills and having the mock Toastmaster meeting still continues, and if so, can others get involved and how so?
Yes, we've actually launched the next version of that at our contest recently, and I got a number of volunteers, and I'm now working with our child development agency to identify children's homes that have children of the age group that we want, who are willing to accommodate us over the summer. So we will be doing a training session in our club officer training coming up shortly, but just see me afterwards and I'll take the information and then we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for volunteering. Have another question? Somebody else would like to make a point, a question? We do have a few minutes. Toastmaster Margaret, I recognize you.
Thank you. Just an observation that distinguished Toastmaster, you had also used radio to publicize Toastmasters across the region.
Thank you for that point. Indeed. Would you like to respond as to what you did and the efficacy of that program?
Sure. Part of the best kept secret is Toastmasters in a lot of territories. And those territories that have been struggling for membership, what I did was to promote the Toastmasters in those territories using the district finances to pay for that. And you would not have all of that money returning to the district. But it has to be done in a systematic way. It's not just hearum scarum, it must have a plan and for it to be effective. So yes, we have used radio in selective territories at certain times of the year to generate knowledge of Toastmasters with the intention of attracting membership.
Fantastic. Excellent. You certainly can take another question, another comment. I see no further questions. Certainly. At this point, then, I'd just perhaps like to share that for me, one of the tremendous benefits of moving forward today in the Toastmasters program is that in every sphere where I've worked, Toastmasters has prepared me. Not necessarily my MBA, but what I've learned, my ability to interact and relate with persons. That has worked. So at one point when I was managing the region for a company, the work that I did as a territorial council governor prepared me in working remotely. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, I would certainly encourage you to take this organization as if your life depends on it. Matter of fact, indeed it may, because in the professional sphere today, as you know, there are significant challenges. And you who are better prepared will be able to move professionally, and not only that, you'll be able to move in an entrepreneurial space and conquer areas hitherto unrecognized before. So I encourage you to take this and take every ounce of learning, every ounce of knowledge, every ounce of opportunity from this organization and build a fantastic network that will help not only bring prosperity to yourselves and your countries, but for the entire Caribbean. It has indeed been a pleasure moderating this session, and we will now move to the meetings thereafter. So at this point, I will hand return control to Toastmaster Donna to formally close.
I've not done my marathon, but I'll claim some things on age. Thank you. Let us say thank you again to our panelists who have done a marvelous job in sharing with us how we can serve beyond the club. Thank you again. At this time, I would like to say thank you to all of them for their presentations to us. Thank you. Isn't my muscle wonderful? Give him a round of applause. Toastmaster Eileen. Yes. And please remember that you must pass the baton of love.
Yes.
Toastmaster Adams. He's reminding me, ladies before gentlemen, but guess what? I'm going to play Scrabble with him. I hope he remembers that then. And as we learn, Toastmaster Bridget. That hug was all to make sure that I would be one of the persons working with her during the summer. And our moderator, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Toastmaster, Robert. Thank you so much. At this time, JN is going to be announcing the raffle. I'm looking for them coming, so I'm asking you please to bear with us for a few more minutes. They're coming in as we get ready to announce. You're ready? Everything? You have your tickets? You're going to win? You're going to win?
Good afternoon, everyone. No, we have already drawn the name. We still can give us, because what will happen is that we will be calling persons to tell you about Jamaica National and hope that you will become a member of Jamaica National. All right? For the persons who won the prizes are Dorshan Salmon. And Jason Cassio.
Recording live.
Your attention, please.
contestants who have not spoken to the contest chair since this morning, please do so as soon as possible. And you know that the contest chair is Marlene Stevenson Daly. You can find her in the secretariat, which is the Rio Grande, which is the Rio Grande. Thank you. Also need to advise anyone who has anything to do with the contest, you are having lunch in the legacy room downstairs. Ushers outside will take you to the place, to that space. In fact, we can facilitate 100 persons in that room, and then everybody else goes to the 17th floor, top of the town, for lunch. Anyone who has anything to do with the contest, you are eating downstairs. Is that clear? Yes. And remember that you would have received that little gray ticket. Some persons have gray tickets. Some persons, yes, that gray ticket that's in your hand, that will be taken from you at lunch. If you don't be concerned if you don't have it, just pass by and collect one. Right. Apparently, there are some persons who are only here for particular sessions. So if you have your lunch ticket, if you haven't got your lunch ticket, just pick it up at the desk. So lunch for contestants and all persons relating to contest in Legacy. Everybody else will be eating in Talk of the Town on the 17th floor.
Thank you all one more time. At this time, we're going to ask you to stand, stretch your legs, do not go too far because you have the business meeting following. And before you go serving outside of the club, remember today you have to serve your clubs by being here. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good afternoon.